Podcast.
Yeah. Is it? Oh, I like that. I like that fancy thing. But yeah, so I think there are people that do that. But I think when you start doing a big way, then system will say, well, enough is enough. We'll have to do you now.
Sure.
And it could be legal, but then they change the rule to make you illegal.
Yes.
So you could be like riding a bicycle with one hand would be legal,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden they say, well, it's illegal because you were doing it with one hand.
And you're breathing too much.
Right. So yeah.
Yeah.
So they can. I think if you look at the rules, the laws, people say obey the laws, but look at the laws, and then you look at it and say, since the Magna Carta or whatever the bullshit they talk about, first year maybe 2 laws, 3 laws, but now you're looking at like thousands of laws. Some are smaller, it doesn't matter, but it's law. So it's somewhere to trap you. So they put a trap everywhere. From here to the end of the road, you walk out and you could be breaking 5 rules.
Yeah, I just did.
Yeah. So yeah, there you go. So if they wanna, they'll disregard that because it's you're not that important for them to make a headline. Guy got arrested for that, but it makes a law. It makes a change that. So I mean, the story right now with this Boris's father. Yeah, I mean that happened. I don't even know when that happened, but anyway, and now all of a sudden, so the press might be after Boris, but they put that little. I mean, there must be thousands of people done what he's done, and he wasn't that famous then when he's done it probably, because his son wasn't a prime minister or a.
His father was also prime minister, right?
Not prime minister. He trying to be MP, and he was going to the conservative this once a year they have the meetings and stuff. So,
Well, and he also wrote a book about depopulation and how fucking
yeah, well,
great it's gonna
this
be.
is the thing about these people. That look, you can have an idea. Not that you're gonna make loads of ideas you have. There is no way you can put it into the practice because if you say something, look, I like to make the whole world democratic and but you can't do it.
Yeah, it's utopia.
Right. So I mean, the people do have this idea, the way that they say, but you know indirectly, you know in your mind you're not gonna do it, but you say I like it, and all this bullshit about if you march and if you 1, 2, 3, and then the whole world can change. Bullshit. It doesn't change. You could march all day long.
That's right, you're right, dude.
And it doesn't. So all it does is it says, oh, you're free. You can do, oh, you can change the world. No, you don't change nothing. I think that circumstances changes the world. The disasters changes the world. If you live in here, I want you to move out from here. You say, no, I ain't moving. But if the place get flooded, you say, well, I don't want to live here if it's going to flood every year.
Mm-hmm.
So I move up somewhere else, up on a mountain. But that's the only way you move. But the other way, if somebody comes and asks you, that's why I don't regard any places on this planet like, oh, this is the coolest place. this is the best place. I want to live in Knightsbridge, St. John's Wood, all that. But I don't. I think it's the people. If you're with the right people, doesn't matter where you live. You could be living in Liverpool.
Yeah.
So I think it's the people that makes the world, makes the area whatever it is. Because I don't think it's so that's why you look at a Kilburn and a thing and you see a lot of whatever you call these poor type of
Ghettos.
people or ghettos and things, and then you think, oh, I don't want to live here. I like, but that's the way it is. Here, they would. It's like this, right? So say you have a restaurant or a club, and you don't want everyone to come and have a drink because you could have as a democratic and legal country, you can have any riffraffs walk into the place. And so what you do is you make a few things: the dress code, the membership. So if I want to say, I don't want you in my place, I don't say to you on your face because that could cause a lot of aggro and a lot of hassle. So I just say, you're not a member. And only members only or whatever. So there you go. And then, so this is what they do. They make the places deliberately very expensive so you don't go there and then it looks, but interesting people. I looked at now with the social media, the things will change because the simple reason is a lot of these people, they were hiding a lot of secrets, but now they're coming out with the as we talked about how things are like.
Well, dude, it's impossible to look into this information which we are providing because it takes bravery, right? It takes a particular mind to be able to comprehend. For example, I cannot like each time I would give a link to my wife. She tells me like, Alex, I cannot watch it, you know. It's like I just can't. It's too much. It's too overwhelming. In my case, I'm already past that stage. You passed it way before me, probably. You know, so.
Well, I think I look at it this way: if you live through the 70s, where they didn't have much of the technology to trap you. It was always your word against their word.
Right.
And then, so they could not trap you. There were less laws. It's important what we talked about. They make the laws for little things like all the little laws on the motorways now. You look everywhere you look and the laws are changed. There might be a law tomorrow, there might be a new law coming out for something else. But when you look at that and you compare it, well, that's the only way you look at the people's happiness and well-being. It doesn't matter if he's got a car or whatever. He might have an electric car, technology or whatever. It doesn't matter. I think for a mind is how happy you're gonna be. And I think one of the reasons you can look at a poor guy and you look at the extremely rich guy, and I'm sure 100% if you work it out who's the more happier or not happier, you'll find the less you have to worry about, you're more happier. The more you worry about my this, my that, my watch, my whatever, car, then you'll have a problem. And I think being, I think the way the society, the politics, the what everything goes on, I'm not sure that the laws and all that made, I'm sure that is to keep the system going. Nothing to do with your happiness or your
That's right.
freedom. Whatever you look at it, it's just that system can only survive by the way they are running it right now. They don't care that you're happy or not. All they're thinking of is give this man some medicine that he can relax and go to sleep. But if you're trying to look for the reason why you're not sleeping, maybe it lies with the system that you're living in, and then you got all that worries of things like I have to do this tomorrow, and if I don't do this, then this will happen and that happen. Nothing happens.
Nothing.
If you do it, you do it. If you don't do it, you don't do it. You do it some other day. So nothing happens. I believe that. I believe that all the time. Everything, you get a letter from a solicitor saying whatever, and you say, look at the heading, and then you say, oh, so I got a letter from a solicitor. Oh, what am I gonna do? It's nothing. It's just like anybody else. Nothing. It's just, what can he do to you? What can he take it away from you? What can he do that? But I think the way we were trained that even if that solicitor charges you £50 for that letter, you feel abused. You feel like you've been raped.
Yeah.
Why did he take that £50 from me?
Yeah.
The other way, you've been throwing £50 out for no reason.
That's right.
So it's a mental thing, and I think quicker they sort out the mental thing is better for them, because the simple reason is every human will have a problem later on, not now. Mental thing will be more than vaccine and all this thing you have. Maybe there are defects in the brain, there might be causing the defects, and I think that is more hurtful. So sort of humor, sort of all that is good for you, but some people cannot have a good humor.
Right.
They don't think it's funny. They don't think this is funny. They don't think this is right. This is not the well. Then you lost all your individuality. You just become you are no different. Well, look, all these rules, all these laws, all these things are coming through. Apparently, I would like to know who makes these decisions that this is not right for you. If I make a decision that whatever silly reason, like say breakfast is the worst meal of the day, so don't have anything in the morning and whatever. Now, so-called scientists, so-called all the things that I've been told in 70s and 80s and 90s, and slowly they're coming to the end change, where they're saying so-and-so is not right. And I particularly very concerned about these dating things. So whenever they say, oh, something that was dated 5,000 years ago, now it could be 11, 12. And all this type of thing, I just want to know that how you take somebody's word for this is the way. well, a couple of things that I think this is a very respectable guy. I'm watching this documentary, and I think this guy done a little bit of. I just watched the few minutes, but what it shows, a lawyer that represented this particular guy, the very clever woman, nice, but that so if she walked into a room, people think, and if she says today is Sunday, you'd say, yeah, that's how good. Well, I'm sure there were people like that before.
I am a person like that.
Yeah.
Like,
And
look at my fucking church. Everybody listening and told me like I'm a fucking Jesus Christ, right?
yeah. Well, you
Look
could
after
start.
me.
Yeah, but you can start your own religion.
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
I like the actual statue of you that appears all over the place now.
Right? Yeah.
Right. So we gotta make an actual deity of you
Right.
wearing that famous glasses.
Deity.
Don't ever lose that glasses again.
Right?
Right. Yeah. Or get a 2-3 pairs in case.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
And the hat.
So yeah. So you want that hat and that glasses, and then we can deal with that. But I think it's look, what you're doing with that little bit of humor here and there, every now and then pops up yourself.
Yeah.
It's a good for everything.
Yeah.
What it is instead of putting a bullshit with the normal thing and seriously believing, telling people this is the way, you're not doing that. You're doing this is a bullshit.
Yeah.
And while we're talking good thing, and then you gotta put bullshit. A guy sticks up from fucking crowd of 10,000 people,
That's right.
and he's wearing that sunglasses and a hat, and he's laughing at people.
That's right.
Right? So, and I think that every mind needs that. That's why I say humor is good for you. That if you're gonna start looking at the world that has to be like this, and this, then you see a product that not gonna be very desirable.
Absolutely.
So I guess I seen it. Well, look at this. I mean, you've seen it so many times that they put out this different way. There, a guy sits down to eat food, and he'll put the knife, fork, all that one way.
Content movie?
Whatever, yeah.
Yeah.
The not walking on the thing. What was the other one?
It's called obsessive compulsive disorder.
Yes, but
OCD.
you see, yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, we laugh at that because we think that is stupid, and that is just be yourself.
I agree.
But a lot of people, they want you to behave like that now. What I mean by it's not exactly like that, but they want you to come out 8 to 9 only. The lockdown is a similar thing that, yes, you must not come out of your house. You can only come out for half hour. You can only go to the shop, or you cannot touch the money. All these things are slowly creeping into us. And I think the years and years ago, before we even know how the world went on, I think if you're weak, if you're sick, you die, you die.
Be a man, die. That's
Yeah.
right.
It's not as a, oh, you can't. And there is no limit on it. It's like, oh, he was too young for his life. If you die at the age of 50, you work to that way. You get everything crammed into that 50 years old. If you want to go and do world tour or climb that tree or whatever. Do it before 50, and then you know you're gonna die.
That's right. Yeah.
So
If I die today, I'm okay with it.
yeah, I think only reason I think everyone would be, but no, yes, but I think what they've done, they planted this thing onto you. They made you feel responsible for a few things. So you bought yourself a house, married, had a children. So it made you responsible for these people and this property and that. So you say, well, I don't want to die yet. The son is still whatever, needs to get a degree, grow up, and I've got to pay up the house, otherwise what's going to happen? So all this negativity, I call it negative. If you look in a history and you find that father died, the children were 2 years old, they made it.
They made it.
Yeah, I don't.
They made it, yeah,
Yes,
that's right.
it's nothing that. So you shouldn't. Look, there are things. It could have been worse. You think, but it could have been better. Same thing.
Yes.
So say if you didn't come here and you went somewhere else. If you're not in England and you are in Mozambique even, he could have still done better.
True. Or worse.
Yeah.
And all your kids
Same
too.
here,
Yeah,
yes. So it just doesn't make any difference to the way we think. So you just take everything that comes in.
You're talking about irrational fears.
Right.
And even a fear of death, it's irrational fear.
Yes.
All fears are
Yeah.
irrational.
But you can see it can be natural. I can understand that. But I can see artificially pumped into you as well. Sort of, you gotta do this before you go. You gotta get this. Look, when did the marriage and all these things came along? We don't know. Maybe 5,000 years ago there was no such a thing as a marriage and thing. It was just different way of living. You lived with a woman or a woman you used, and then she moved on with somewhere else. Like the little group of, I think when you see a little groups of animals, the lions, the chimpanzees, the gorillas, they live in a little group. And when you look at that, it's probably that's what the humans did as well.
But also, we have penguins, and they into what's the word, monogamy. So they do get married. They they don't date other penguins, after they get married and shit. So we have examples of both in every place.
Yes, you're gonna have you can have but what I'm saying is, which is the right way? Well, we don't know.
There is no right way.
Yeah, and this is why you see the difference now. A lot of people live with the women without getting married.
Because the idea of marriage
They have a children and
got corrupted. Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, look, you give a freedom, then you take the freedom away, and you'd say, well, from now on, from tomorrow, there'll be no one can have a child or live together without getting married.
Yeah.
Sort of a whatever you call it, serial or whatever. But Yeah, it could happen. Well, like I said to you earlier, there is 2, 3 ways you can do the thing. Mass. So you got a mass of people around the world, billions and billions, and if you ask them all to do something like what we have for last year and a half or whatever, they'll say no. You would have a very hard time to asking them to do stay home for 10 days, 1 month, whatever. Go every evening 6 o'clock, bang your dish or something with a little tongue and or clap, or respect the NHS.
I fucking hated it.
Yeah, well,
worst.
there you go. Yes. So this is what I'm saying. So you couldn't do that. But if you put a fear into people, and not the fear by telling I'm gonna do this to you, unknown. So it could be very small thing. A little noise come up from the corner, and you're thinking, what was that? It's nothing. It could be just a little noise, but it would sort of like gives you that fright. And I think exactly this this corona, whatever they call it now, is the same thing. It's one way of what I'm worried about now is they learned the way. Now they know this is the way you can get everyone in one place. I want everyone to leave Liverpool and go to live in somewhere else. You couldn't do that, but if you do it this way, whatever. You say, well, we have a nuclear. They've done that a few times. The Japanese villages got empty. They've done in Chechnya, whatever. Not Chechnya, but Ukraine. So you could do that.
Yeah.
And who knows? If I don't ask you to check it, and even if you went and checked it and you said that is a whole lot of rubbish, they'll say, well, you're not credible enough. He was mental. I got his email. Look, it shows that he was this and he was that. So a lot of these things, yeah. I think frightening people. So it's exactly, you see that around you with the global warming and all that. They need to get the money. And what they will do is they can create a lot of fear, a lot of, as I told you about, you can live with any type of disaster. You die, and people will always survive because the proof is here, and proof is the population is getting bigger, not smaller. And that's your proof. That's it. That's all you need to worry about. If the population was getting smaller, you're thinking, why? There's something happening. But if you look at the figures, even now with this pandemic and whatever they call it, people dying, there are more people still born now than people who died in last 1 hour, half hour, while we're talking.
Yeah, I mean, this COVID is a fucking hoax. I mean, me and you, we know it, and we're trying to wake up motherfuckers, but they just...
I don't think you can ever change anybody anymore. All you can do, even with the politics and what you see, the guys in power, so you got this guy Biden, he probably makes a decision that affects the people around the world or whatever. There are people didn't vote for him.
No one voted for him.
Right. So you're still gonna have that situation where so it's not possible to change anything unless it's like this. If you're making a good living out of whatever, there's 50 of you sitting down every night, every weekend, making a decision how we're gonna stop these people doing this, How are we gonna stop people going to seaside on a weekend? So we say this, we do, and then you come up with answers. Maybe they use a lot of books, computers. It's like anything else, you know. If you want, it's a known fact now that the why the China and other things, and a lot of people they use this woman who wrote these books, Harry Potter's and thing, and she made billions and billions and billions. Well, just like you see ton of films and TVs and TV series is now, different writers are coming through, different on the same method and same program, and same with the books. A lot of people believe that there are other people might be helping to write those books.
Yeah.
Because if there is a money for people, people will do anything.
That's right.
So you got your little group now. Let's start making money for that group.
This is actually one of the ideas why I started it. I know that storm is coming, right?
You're right.
So I can be under the wave, or I can ride the wave on a piece of wood. You know? So my plan is to build fucking noise arc and ride the wave with motherfuckers. I like, you know.
Well,
This is
yeah.
the plan.
Look, whatever the idea, it might be far-fetched. People think, oh well, but if you believe genuinely what you believe in, start collecting wood and this and that. It passes your time. It gives you sense of purpose to live. What you're doing is you living, and it's giving you purpose, but for other people's reason. You're doing things for because you gotta pay for the rent. So you gotta get the money. So you gotta go and work. So what you're doing it for the rent, not for the reason that you wanna do it. You do it because that's how it should be done. You gotta pay for that bicycle. That bicycle's been in a few pictures, no?
This one?
Yeah. Is it part of the furniture that you have? A few items. Because I know the bag I've seen a few times. There's a bag as well. Yeah. Keep all these items that can be used as a.
I have a compass right here.
Oh,
See?
you said yeah. So you gotta put that as well on the yeah. So yeah, is that for your prayers?
Yeah. Well, I started the church because I don't want to ride to boat alone. You know? I rather have all my friends with me, right? And like every person in the church is the people I like. You know, if they are morphos, they cannot get to the fucking church, right? And if they are staying there, I mean, I like them already. Right? And look, you posted this this amazing motivator about being alone, right?
Right.
And
Yeah.
to
I believe
be-
that. I
me
believe
too.
that.
Me too. It's like when I read it first time, I'm like, let me think about it a couple of times, right? But now, like after a month, I'm like, oh yeah, it actually makes sense. Much more now.
Well, right. So I have a theory now, and every time you hear people always say, "Oh, you're gonna, well, man, you're gonna be bored because you are alone, whatever."
Mm-hmm.
And once you master to live like that alone, done it. You don't need any more Nothing nonsense. You can go to somewhere, sit down, and that's it. You switch off from all this, and that's what I believe. Once you've done that, so but we've been stopped all the time because what you're doing is they keep saying you're gonna get bored, or you won't be able to do. But you gotta learn to be alone and to learn that, and that's
it's a choice too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's dude, you're absolutely right.
I have learned I can sit at home alone. Everyone go out. I don't want to go out or see anyone. I just want to sit. They say, well, it's only temporary. No, I can do that for weeks and weeks. Don't need anyone. I think everything that you see around you, nothing is that important, because when you put it on a perspective that 70 years, 60 years, whatever, and you're still worried about something that is worth £300, so whenever this thing happens, whatever it costs you or whatever, and people say, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? Well, whatever decision you made, and that, you live with that. But people don't. There will always be somebody who will come up and say, well, if you'd bought a new one, you wouldn't have to spend, it cost you 250 already. You can get a new one for 300. You made a mistake. And keep saying that to you. Even when you're 70, when you're 80. Well, all these years, you've done things, you are allowed to make a mistake. I don't even call that a mistake, just don't think about that. It's not a big thing. Whatever you would say, okay, so you go back and you say, well, that's not a mistake. The mistake I made, I should have bought that building. It was going for £25 and I didn't buy that, and now it's worth 250 million. That's a mistake. But if everybody knew that before, everyone would be what they are. So I don't look at that. I don't look at the mistake. I don't look at people telling you whatever. So the people always come up and say to you, oh, you shouldn't have done this, you should have.
But you're not alone, dude. You're the opposite of alone. I mean, look,
yeah, but
I believe that Bill Gates, he's really alone. I don't believe that he has any real friends. You know, it's like everyone comes to that church, right? And just to chill. And no one comes to Lizard Bill Gates to just chill and to be around, you know, and to do a podcast. So he has to pay, and he still doesn't get it.
let me ask you this financial thing, right? The system that we are living in, Europe, us,
Albanian COVID strain is
well,
fine.
the Romanians,
Albanian
Yes.
strain.
and then Americans. And then you have a model of China. Doesn't matter. You're a slave for 30 years. But what you see, a progress there. Something has changed massively. So they say, yeah, but Chinese, okay, they done this, they done that, you are you know, they give out whatever the publicity. To the state, in the Chinese, I'm sure a state helps you have a brilliant plan, you send us guys to learn the plan outside, come back and the state says, here is the £2 billion that you need to create or make this ship. And here are the labels. We'll pay. Everyone's getting money and they go back. And the West, they do it deliberately. I'm sure they've done it in the past as well. And this Bill Gates and all them, I'm sure they're state-sponsored people.
Yeah.
But yet again, they say no. They're individual, and you can't. So I reckon the Americans doing the same thing, state-sponsored super billionaires,
That's right.
the Bezos and all them, and they protect them by their mafia connection, in a sense of, I call the state a mafia that protects them.
Yeah,
So say
mafia, you're
if
right.
yeah. So if you're trying to mess with the Bill Gates and his system of whatever, but it's a state,
Yeah.
okay? Well, if you try to develop a different system, then they are gonna say, well, you done this wrong and you done that wrong and use, and now you're banned. Or we're gonna put the we're gonna put the sanction on you and this and that.
That's right. It's yes.
And any other way you fight the sanction, they say, well, this is illegal. Of course it's illegal, but then the first thing is illegal as well.
Yeah.
So when you put the sanction on somebody, so right now with the sanctions, this Belarus thing going on, right, wrong, doesn't matter. That is a little bit of sign you're seeing now. You're seeing the immigration. It's going to be a massive immigration problem, because the simple reason for that is immigration will be the key thing for anything, because you're selling social media, so you're selling everything. Like you show somebody a video of a country, you see it on a CNN and all them places when you go to Turkey on a holiday, and it's beautiful water and the boat going and all the girls are in a bikini and whatever, and food is all sizzling and it looks, and it's made for the country, for come to holiday to Turkey. Well, this is what we're doing with the West as well, because you look at America and they show you the parts of America. Oh, this is it, Beverly Hills, and you can eat in this. But you ask the Mexican immigrants that just crossed the border, he'll be fucking working in some restaurant in the basement cleaning dishes or whatever, and you won't even probably see hardly a daylight. But anyway, that's advertising the country, so you want to come here. And I think the immigration, illegal immigration or whatever you call that, is going to be the biggest, not like 100, 200 people, millions of people. So say if you have 5 children now born in wherever parts of Africa or a Middle East or a thing, you're planning for the 4 children not to become a doctor or anything, just to have to get to the And I think Belarus used that to show the European that you put a sanction on us, so we can do that. We don't need an army, we don't need. See, if you get about 10 million people jump in the boats, rubber dinghies, whatever, and you come across, obviously they'll come into the France. France will help them to come, all of them there, and say go.
Mm-hmm.
And just like the D-Day, whatever you see it in the thing, the people are landing the
It's K something cool.
right. So
You know what I mean?
yeah. So so I reckon next 20, 30, 40 years, that's the biggest problem they're gonna have on this planet. Because you know there's only very few community and very few religion. And when you look at the basis of religion, that you're born this way, you're gonna, so sorry bro, you're born poor and you're born in this shithole, so I gotta live here and that's it. And a guy with a massive, you'll only see that in India. You'll never see it other places because they will rise up. The revolution is on the way. So when you have a poor people that sleeping outside your house, you come out of the house with the same as here, maybe double the price whatever you pay here, and that guy sleeping on a street around the corner from your house, he'll salute you as you drive past. How does that work? Then you think, how this guy, normally you would expect the guy to throw stones at you, right? But they do that, so
it's eternal, yeah. So,
it's in their religion that puts the thing about the, in a previous life you done bad, so you come out as a, you have to pay the whatever. Once you start believing all that, then you live with that, guys. What he throws away, you can't even find that to eat.
You are talking about simulation theory now. This reincarnation.
You're right.
You know, like
Yeah. So yeah.
It's just going back into a game with more experience.
Right. So I mean, look, we're ready to fight with the injustice, all that, and maybe we don't. Then we'll write about it and we put it out on a podcast and whatever. But I'm sure. Peace of mind, happiness. I mean, you see it. Sometimes people wanna say you're a Maharishi or whatever. You don't have any possession. You just wear a little cloth and you're a Maharishi. You know a little bit of the knowledge, but how. They will show you that is the man. So you might have some famous pop stars, Beatles, or actors, or someone will go and try to live with this guy for 2-3 days, and they think they're got it all, and they come back here and doing the same old thing again. How to get more money from people, how the businesses are ran, how the records doing, or how the film is doing. And so maybe that is one of the reasons. So you're showing it's no harm being poor. It's good for you.
It's a lesson.
So it suits them every way that you look. So one way is I might have billions and billions, but I say, life is terrible. The other guy doesn't have money to eat, nothing, but you are happy. You don't have to worry about what I have to worry about. I got a whole country on my shoulder. But you see it over and over and over. All these people, so-called the guys from the big superstores, billions upon the banks, everyone bankroll you. But they, when it comes to the crunch, they run away. They left everything. They're not worried about, oh, I'm worried about my staff. I employ 5,000 people and I'm only doing it for them, and
Bullshit.
that's a bullshit, because he could just walk away in his yacht, sail out to some other unwanted, like Bill Gates and all them hang around in that Virgin Island, wherever young girls hanging out, and then
Virgin Islands, right?
well, I think so. That's what he said.
Well, the whole name smells like pedophilia to me.
Yes, it
You know.
probably is. I mean,
Oh,
look,
for sure.
look, the guys who are the totally controlled. There might be few Russians in there. There might be few Chinese and quite a lot of Americans, and they think, right, this is the way. Yes, yes, and then this is the way to live now. So, and they might be pedophilia in themselves, some of them. So they said, well, it's all right, they're brothers. Give them a little island, let them do their thing. Every now and then we'll sacrifice. These are sacrifices. Every now and then this guy, the one who killed himself in a prison, this Epstein, right? They're sacrifice. You take it and you offer it to the people, and you say, chop his head off, and look, see, we don't like these people.
Well, those kind of people, they don't have the guts to kill themselves, right?
Right.
For sure.
So they
But
well, they want you to believe that. So,
That's
but
right.
I think that the whole if you are you see, genetically, you see around you the world that it's like this, right? So when they say to you, we don't want to change the system, molecule system, genetic, whatever. You know, I don't want to make you superhuman. Your brain would be about that big, and then the shoulder has to be, so we genetically modify that. So you.
But I'm already genetically modified, you know.
Right, but that is done illegally. But the people will not accept that, because what it is they don't want to do that. Because it could backfire on them. It could.
Always does.
Yeah. So, well, that's what's happened with the
It's like I am
scientist.
a result of
Fucked up.
of this fire. Yeah.
Fucked up by aliens. The
Which-
fuckers
that's
fucking fucked with the
They
wrong
made a
fucking
genetic mistake on me, so I backfire.
Yeah. Well, well, look, everything what you see, when it doesn't suit you, you'd say, well, it was an accident. So, what we are here now on this planet, with these people and all this, was a fucking accident. A shitty fucking meteorite came and hit the fucking planet,
Impossible because we
well,
have a firmament, right?
Right. So whatever this happened, and it's an accident. But looking at it, it's a good accident, right?
Okay.
Or a bad accident, but a good accident. We look at it because that's the only way we know. But then, in the future, some shit happens. You could have 3 arms.
Well, it's an accident for me because I don't understand the cause and effect of it, right? But if I would knew that like in 10,000 years something will strike me, it's no longer an accident because I calculated all the trajectories, right? So for a cat or for a rat running on the streets, it will be an accident. For me, it will be cause and effect. And in this fucking place, nothing happens by an accident, right? So everything here has a touch of intelligence, even on a micro level. The way it's like it's all been pre-programmed. All the stuff around me made out of all the living stuff made out of in the same fucking recipe. So it's energy, matter, and the data, and everything is programmed. So banana is only being programmed to be a fucking little banana.
Yeah. Well, look, you just gotta look at the regions around the world. So you have a Middle East, you have a Asia, you have a Indian and continents, and then you have Europe. We will leave the America out because it's a new nation and just whatever. But you look at it for thousands of years, the way they eat and so you get the Indians, they would rice, a lot of spices, all that. Then you have the other country. But that is because it's the way the things are.
It's the correct time. I'm like, what?
I never change the time. Because it's going to change in another 6 months' time back to that time. So, yeah. But I think you can see the cultures are different. That is the way you wear your clothes, the way you do that.
No, dude, there is no difference. Like, look, Chinese person or Ukrainian, they're all fucking wearing pants, they're all wearing hats and stupid blue sunglasses, right? And it's,
no, not those mirror sunglasses. those are only made by the
for Jesus Christ.
Yes, these are holy glasses.
That's true. Let's take a break out of the best podcast ever made in the whole history of a fucking podcast and go outside and to talk more shit.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Right. Let's.
Alright, motherfuckers.
Yeah, that's it. They
call
will
it as a
learn
hoax.
something. They will learn something.
Let's hope so.
Yeah. I think. Yeah. I want them to learn.
Me too. That's why we're doing it.
Be happy.
Yeah.
Or miserable. Maybe, who knows? Being miserable could be the new happiness.
Being miserable is a default by Four Noble Truth. So it's a default.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. This is coming straight from the mouth of Jesus.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right. Yeah.
See you, mofos. Bye for now, yo.
Bye bye.